was it difficult being a man to write stories about women because you don't know the pain?
For parenting tips, celebrity interviews, recipes, conversations with experts, DIYs, and lots more. Subscribe to Kids Talk Press now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to an interesting episode of the Kids Talk Press podcast. Today, we're in conversation with one of my personal favorite authors, one who has broken the dynamics of children's literature and is leading a mission to make mythology relevant and make us start thinking, then start just embracing, and which is something I absolutely love about him. Two of his children's books which have taught me more than I think they've taught my children is The Boys Who Fought and The Girl Who Chose. I am the child who sat every Sunday in front of the TV watching the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, not understanding, not questioning, just absorbing it like a story, which is how it should be in childhood, but never questioned. I was never taught to question that norm, which I did at the age of 35 when I read those two books with my kids. So Devdutt Pattanaik, thank you. Thank you for being here. You know, I don't know if I read it in the book or in one of your interviews where somebody asked you that, was it difficult being a man to write stories about women because you don't know the pain and you don't carry the womb we carry.
Yeah.
So was it?
The Pregnant King, when I was writing, there was where I was trying to describe labor. And more than labor, it was menstruation. I wanted to talk about menstruation. And I went to my sister and said, what happens to your body? And she was like, how can you talk to me like that? You don't talk like that, do you? And I'm a doctor, so I'm familiar with the everything theory, but not the experience.
Yeah.
And then I realized, how different it is when you occupy a different body. But even then it's complex because all women don't menstruate exactly the same way. Some have painful, some don't have pain. And I said, you can't make universal sentences. Even a woman can't say that. Some will have difficult pregnancies, some have easy pregnancies, some can deliver baby at home without any effort, some have to go through all kinds of hormonal medical processes. So our bodies are a different world we inhabit.
Right.
And my body is different from your body. All men's bodies are not the same.
Yeah.
And then you realize how lonely our lives are, each one of us. And when you start writing these stories, you realize, and I wanted to bring that loneliness of the pregnant man because he doesn't even have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
So that was when I wrote the book, and I think that's one of the early books where gender became an important part of my conversation. When people talk about mythology, you have to talk about. We don't talk much about gender. It's like hero, heroine, villain. And when I say hero and heroine, there's a visual coming in my mind. Villain, victim. Something is coming. But stories, that's a Greek way of storytelling. Indian storytelling is ras, bhav, emotions, sentiment. आपको क्या अनुभव हो रहा है? So experience. What is Ram going through when he discovers his wife is abducted? What does it mean? And when you read the various poetry, it's about Ram weeping like a baby, and he curses plants and animals, and there are lots of folk tales about different plants and animals. He goes and asks, have you seen Sita? Have you seen Sita? Some answer, some don't, some make fun of him. And each time he reacts differently.
Right.
Now, these stories are not told. That's not what the TV serials are going to show, because you want to show Ram as some warrior god with six-pack abs holding weapons in his hand. You don't want to show a man who's weeping. Where's my wife? Has she abandoned me? Has she left me? Because he doesn't know Ravan has abducted her. So what is he going through? Has she got tired of me because I brought her into the jungle? And the dialogues are there. Where he says, she's a princess. She married into a royal family. Now we're in the middle of the forest. And she's foraging for food. Maybe she got tired of me. So the self-doubt. Now these are stories which are there, but why don't we tell our children those stories?
Yeah.
That people feel. So
because that's never been portrayed traditionally.
No, that's also because the storyteller has an agenda.
Yes.
And the storyteller wants you to say that, men don't feel. Men are not supposed to feel pain. Men are not supposed to feel heartbreak. So the story of Sita is as much about Ram's heartbreak and longing and loss. And if you look at Ramayana carefully, it's a story of a man who is never allowed to be with his wife.
Yeah.
It's the story, Kaikai is saying, you go to the forest.
Yeah.
Then Ravan abducts her. and then the people gossip about, and they're never allowed to stay together. It's a relationship of, and now it becomes a love story of people trying to come together and society is pulling them apart.
Yeah.
It's not the Ram of the politician. It's a different Ram. Why is the a politician's Ram more important than a lover's Ram, a beloved's Ram, a husband-wife story struggling with difficult issues, politics, they're royal families, they're political, they're dealing with difficult people. So there are other women in the story. There's Surpanakha, there's Mandodari. So when I'm writing a Sati Savitri, I want to talk about the women they meet in the forest, the women she meets in the choices she makes, her agency.
For parenting tips, celebrity interviews, recipes, conversations with experts, DIYs, and lots more. Subscribe to Kids Talk Press now.